Okay, we're going to start with Leafworks. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. Here we go.
Hi, Jason Himara.
Nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Achal Bassi.
Jason Himara, nice to meet you.
I'm Achal Bassi. I'm Achal Bassi.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Achal Bassi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Achal Bassi, and this is my business partner, Jason Himara. We're both first-year MBA students here at GW, and we're here to talk to you about Leafworks. Using an ancient technique used in India for centuries, we've come up with a product which is basically disposable dinnerware, which is made out of steam-pressed palm leaves. And these leaves are 100% biodegradable, fully compostable, and completely chemically free, which means our product is the same. So to show you a little bit about how this product is actually made, I'm going to take you through a little video. So the fronds of the palm leaf, actually, of the Areca palm, are collected and dried in the sun. And this is an important part of killing out any germs naturally. They're then sanitized and are cleaned through. This is the machine that's actually used to create the plates. It's very simple. It works on a steam process. And all that happens with these machines is that the leaf goes in and the woman presses down on it. And believe it or not, in the time that I've spoken to you, your plate's almost ready. And then you'll see the final product in a second. It's as simple as that. And that is the plate you see. So what are the benefits of Leafworks? Well, our product is functional. It's attractive, and most of all, it's sustainable. And just to show you how attractive it is, Jason's going to bring around a sample to you guys. What's amazing about this is every single leaf has its own pattern, which makes the whole plate really beautiful, and every single time you get something unique to work with. So they do snap if you pull them along the grain, which is what makes them disposable. So. In terms of our supply chain management, now we know working in a country like India can be really difficult. There are lots of issues with trust, corruption, as well as just, natural issues. So to overcome that, we've secured 3 suppliers in 3 different states in India. They're actually spaced out geographically as well. One is in East India in Assam, one is in Southeast India in Kerala, and the other one is in Southwest India in Karnataka. This way, if one area was affected by, say, a tsunami or a drought or any other issue, or if there was some sort of plant disease out there, we could fall back on our next supplier, which keeps our supply chain going. The production and packaging is going to happen in India, where these plates are going to be packed into packs of 10. We're actually looking at technology right now to also use a bio bag, a clear form of a bio bag, because we really want to make this product sustainable. They're then going to be shipped in lots of over hundreds of thousands, and they'll come into the port of Baltimore where Jason and I will receive them. Initially in the business, because we're so committed to quality, we're going to do the inventory stock take ourselves to ensure that all the plates that we give out have the highest quality, that there are no breaks, that there is no damage. They're then going to be transported to our storage facility, which is where we're going to be shipping them out of to our clients. So you might be wondering, it's just a plate. Well, no, it's not. We have created a whole program around this. We want to promote sustainability. So the first value add that we have is that we're going to be creating a website which helps you manage your carbon footprint. How, you ask? Well, every single pack of plates is going to have a leaflet and a barcode in it. When you purchase that plate, you go onto our website and you log in your purchase. We're going to be looking at global standards of carbon footprint management to show you how you're contributing personally to lower the carbon footprint. It's really easy to record purchases, it's interactive and informative, and it'll give you updates on your carbon footprint. But most of all, what's unique about this program is we're also going to be reinvesting part of our profits into the replantation of forests in India, as well as reinvestment into the businesses. Now, there's a reason why we're reinvesting into the businesses. A, it builds trust. India is a country that works very highly on trust, and we want to gain the loyalty from our suppliers that they will continue to produce for us and that they won't be poached by competitors. B, it continues our supply chain. We will continue to produce this product, and this is our way of securing our future. In terms of replantation, well, this is the best way to reduce a carbon footprint. It's not just about buying a sustainable plate, it's how you improve the environment. So this is why this project is in. Then, I know everybody's really busy these days and they want to do everything on the move. So we're actually looking at building an iPhone or an Android application so you can record your purchases on the go and you can get your updates on the go. There's no more sitting down, and it's going to take the least amount of possible time to actually be as sustainable as you can be. So here are some facts why we think this product is successful. US is one of the largest producers of waste in this world. We serviced 6,428 shoppers. 54% of them said that sustainability was a huge emphasis when they were buying products. Green shoppers buy more, buy often, and are less price sensitive, which means that we can charge a little bit extra for our plates and we can make the profit that we need to make our investors. Most of all, green product buyers are big on loyalty. If we strike the right chord, if we create the good program for them, they will stick with us, which means that we continue to make money year on year. So what's the market opportunity? There's a growing market for sustainable products. It's growing exponentially. There's an emphasis on environmental education within the US as well as globally. There's a global movement towards a greener planet. Every single politician, every single government, every single company has a green agenda. We want you to be able to use us to meet that requirement. And everyone is looking to do good in more than just one way. Well, Leafworks help you do that in a few ways. So what is the green market? The people surveyed showed that 95% of them would buy it, but were unaware of what green products would be. 75% knew of a green product, but didn't understand the importance of sustainability. 63% were looking for a green product, but they didn't know where to buy it. And 47, well, they were unmotivated and uneducated in terms of green products. 22% actually bought it. What does this mean for Leafworks? In terms of looking at the sustainability products that sell in the market today, paper products are the fourth highest with 19%. This is Leafworks' market. This is where we're going to enter. And if you imagine a market which is about $300 million, 19% of that is a huge share. So who are the green buyers? Now, it might surprise you, but they're not who you really expect them to be. They're not your stereotypical green buyers. They're people who are really highly educated, as well as people with slightly higher incomes. They believe in smaller families, and they're between the ages of about 30 and 55. These are the people who really care about making a difference. These are the people we're going after. What is going to be our marketing framework? I mentioned earlier that 63% of 6,000 people were looking for green products. Imagine if we went to the US population and 63% of the US population was looking for it. We're going to make ourselves really visible. We're going to go business to business. We're going to create social media buzz. Now, we set up a Facebook page, and within 1 week, we got 244 hits. Twitter is another place that we're going to be creating a social media buzz. We're going to be doing in-store demonstrations. The best way to get your product out there is to go and talk about it yourself. So we're going to go do it. We're going to look into publications and blogs. We're hoping that the Washington Post food channel and also blogs just internationally will actually want to write about us. We want to go out there and show them that we're genuine and we mean this. And that's why we want to be written about. We're also going to be advertising on sustainability websites, which is huge for us because the majority of our competition is actually online. So who are our target markets? We've broken this down into 3 sections. Year 1 and 2, we're looking only in the US. We're going to be going to retail distributors, online retailers, and local restaurants. We didn't want to go to every single Whole Foods ourselves. We want to make an impact on a larger scale. So we're going to go to the distributors. We're going to go to online retailers because that, like I mentioned, that's where majority of our competition is. And we think that that's how we're going to get a lot of our sales and visibility and improve our brand image. Again, the same thing with local restaurants. Local restaurants will help us create our brand. They will help put us on the map of America, and that's what we want to do. Year 3, we're going to go into larger markets. There's a huge push for sustainability education. Imagine if our product was in the school catering business and college catering business. The amount of education that would go out every single time a student looked at a plate and saw what the use was for it, it would be immense. We're also going to be looking at corporations. All corporations are now required to have a sustainability program included in their agenda. We want to be able to help them meet the requirements. And bulk ordering for events. Now, you might be thinking that year 3 seems like we might be selling big and producing more waste. But in year 3, Leafworks will also work towards creating a composting program. So when we sell for large events, where you're going to be using about 100 to 3,000 plates, we won't let you just throw them away. We'll come and pick them up for a small charge, and we'll take them to the compost for you. We will get rid of your waste in the right way and take care of it in the right way. So in year 4 and 5, global expansion. We're looking at countries that are big on sustainability. Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, and Sweden have all made a major push for sustainability. We want to get out there. We want to sell our product out there, and we believe that we have the capability to do so. Now, Jason is going to take you through the management capability.
Thank you, Achal. All right, so I want to talk to you a little bit about our management capabilities, starting with Achal. She's going to be leading this project as COO. She was born in India and grew up in New Zealand. And growing up in New Zealand, growing up in a country that's so, at its core is sustainability, she developed this passion, this interest for sustainable products, for green technology. She also has experience working in the corporate world, also experience in entrepreneurship, and along with her project management skills, she's going to be leading the marketing effort and the operations effort of Leafworks. She's also a non-resident Indian and speaks Hindi fluently, so it's going to be a great asset to have for when we're dealing with businessmen in India, and also there are some financial advantages when we look to reinvest money back into the Indian economy, back into reforestation. Now, a little bit about myself. I grew up in DC, and I saw the sustainability movement start right here. I grew up in a household that always pushed sustainability, and so that's where my drive comes from. I have an education background, and as a teacher, I got to see how important it is to get kids to understand how sustainability works and why it's important in their lives. I also have a background in finance, so I'll be taking on the CFO role of this company, putting together the projections, the financial statements. The two main parts of the company that are not done in-house are obviously production, which will take place in India, but also the website design and management. So let's talk about the finances. I first want to walk you through why we have, or what the basis is for our financial assumptions. Starting with the market as a whole, we looked to the disposable plate industry and found that the industry annually in the US generates about $3 billion. Now, we realized that not all of that is ours, so we looked at our other research, which we mentioned earlier, and found that about 19% would be sustainability-minded consumers. And so that, broken down out of the $3 billion, gives us about a market of about $600 million. And also, we know we're dealing with American consumers, and they can be finicky. They're not always looking to try something new. So we broke that down again into half, and thought of the sustainability-minded consumers, about half would be interested in buying our product. And that gives us a market of $300 million. So moving on to our source and use of funds. Now, we base this off of the market that we want to get into, and then also the financial projections, which we foresee, the costs and the revenue streams for the next about 4 years, which we projected. We believe that we need about $200,000 of startup funds, which we'll be looking to angel investors for. To show our enthusiasm for this project and for this company and our belief that it'll be a success, we also want to invest $10,000 of our own money as ownership investment, which for students is quite a bit. Now, for the uses, the main use of funds in the first year is going to be obviously in acquiring plates, also in the packaging, and that's going to be about $17,000 per 100,000 plates that we purchase initially. Other funds are going to be going to the website development. And you'll also see a cost for a trip to India where we'll get to meet with the producers, make sure the quality is up to what we require, that employees are treated fairly, and also we'll have a chance to meet with the organizations where our reinvestment funds will go through. So let's look at some of the first year projections. I've broken this down quarterly. Achal and I are going to be the main point of sale in the first year. And so in the first quarter alone, with our capabilities and with what we believe the product will sell, we believe that we can generate $15,000. At 17 cents per plate initially, that'll give us a gross margin percentage of about 50%. We believe that in the summer months, with people outside barbecuing, that demand will increase, that we can sell about $37,000 in quarters 2 and 3, and that in quarter 4, with people moving inside, although there's the Super Bowl still, we'll be able to generate about $33,000 in sales. With our actually minimal amount of operating expenses in the first year, we can generate net income percent of about 25%. So looking at years 1, 2, 3, and 4, as I said, for year 1, we believe we can generate about $122,000 with sales through the revenue streams that we find, and we'll have a cost of goods sold of about $60,000. Let me put this up on a graph for you. Year 2, we're looking to hire new staff, sales staff that will go out and target the markets that we believe are going to generate strong revenue streams for us. And because of the learning curve involved in training new staff, we're not going to see a huge increase, but we do believe we can generate about $35,000 in sales in year 2. Once we've established those constant streams of revenue, those channels that are going to be consistent for us, and then start building on top of those with this sales force that's familiar with both our products and the markets that we're trying to target, we believe that we can generate $700,000 in year 3 and $1.5 million in year 4. You'll also notice that our gross margin is increasing. That's because we do believe we can achieve economies of scale, not huge economies of scale because the margin that we're working on is relatively small, but drop the cost per plate from 17 cents in year 1 to about 15.5 cents in year 4. So how does this affect our net earnings? In year 1, we're going to generate about $30,000 in net earnings. Year 2, you'll see a slight dip, but that's because we're hiring sales staff. This is an investment that we want to make in the future of the company. So we think that we'll take a slight hit on net income, but that'll redeem itself in years 2 and 3. So we expect to generate about $26,000 of revenue, in income in year 2. Year 3, we expect to generate about $150,000 due to the efforts of Achal and myself, the new markets that we enter, and the sales staff. In year 4, when we get business from the large caterers, from the corporations, we believe we can generate income of about $400,000. So we think that we can really take off at that point. So what does this mean to investors? I want you to walk away from this presentation remembering 3 points. First is that we are offering a beautiful, a sustainable product that with our added value, with our value proposition, is going to definitely differentiate us from the market and from our competitors. That Achal and I are capable. We're dedicated to this project. We have the drive and we believe in it. We think that we can make this business not only a reality, but also a success. And finally, that we will make a return for investors. So when you're reflecting on our proposition, remember that we're not just selling tableware. We're selling a green revolution. We just happen to be doing it by the sale of 1 plate at a time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to open up the floor for questions.
First off, very good presentation. I love your concept.
Thank you.
Who's your biggest competitor, and how are you different from them?
I'll take that. So our biggest competitor is a company called Veriterra. It's actually another student who kind of discovered this. He is a Columbia grad. How does it differentiate from us? A, he claimed that the technology was his idea, that he was going on a trip in India and had this epiphany of how amazing these plates would be. Not true. It's actually existing in India, so we want to give credit where it belongs. And B, there is no sustainability program. You've never heard of Veriterra. No one's seen them. They're not visible because they have a small website and it's a side business for the owner. Whereas for us, this is going to be something that we're really passionate about. So our entire program around sustainability is what differentiates us. It is how we're going to actually get a visibility and how we actually believe we'll make money. Because at the end of the day, when you're selling a disposable plate, whether it's sitting in a supermarket shelf next to another potato starch plate or a paper plate, there's very little to tell the consumer what the difference is. It is how we tell them and the value add that we provide in terms of the sustainability product that will make us different.
In terms of, these plates already exist in India. Mm-hmm. So what gives you a sustainable competitive advantage? Some company, a paper company, can go there and contract and market and outmarket you. So what gives you, speaking from the MBA point of view, a sustainable competitive advantage?
I think the sustainable competitive advantage comes from the fact that I'm Indian. Indians are really big on trust and building relationships. That's how they operate. So in terms of an American producer going there and talking to them, if I went there and struck up a relationship with them, they're really big on loyalty, and that's what we're hoping to bank on. And B, it's the reinvestment project. When you look at it, we are giving them money to continue doing business. No one else has offered them that. So if we're going in there and saying, we take a stake in you, we give a part of our profits to you, in return, we want you to produce for us and continue to do it for X number of years. Sure, there will be other people who will approach them, and that's why we've taken the 3-supplier approach, because we want to ensure that we're meeting our demand at every single point. We don't want points of failure. And yes, there will be different economic factors involved, but we believe that in terms of striking a personal chord, in terms of reinvesting, we actually are giving them a huge incentive to continue doing business with us.
One other question. Have you built into your financial model the payment for shelf space?
Jason.
We have actually included a fair amount of leeway. We realized that there were going to be a lot of unexpected costs.
Well, as you know, I know a little bit about this from another business, but when you go to a supermarket and I don't care if it's Whole Foods or anything else, the companies that they give money to the store to get shelf space. And if you don't do that, you don't get shelf space.
We have actually set aside
It's a payback.
Right.
We've set aside a promotional budget as well as other expenses, and that's part of it. It's not just the publications. It's also going to be, we're hoping that when we get that shelf space, we can make it unique to Leafworks in terms of how we display our product.
No, it's not the display. You have to pay money
Yeah.
Right.
So
to
that
Whole Foods,
yeah.
a considerable amount, and depending on the size of the chain and where you want to be positioned.
Yeah.
Because they only have so much space.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Jason, I think we've taken that into account in terms of in the promotional area.
Right. We've taken account to unexpected costs. Now, that there are certain costs that might make it not feasible for us to go into Whole Foods right away. That's why we're talking about targeting maybe small businesses, restaurant chains. Also, you have, Achal mentioned in the presentation yesterday, restaurants like yogurt stands that are self-contained. They don't have a lot of contracts with other companies. So
Those people buy through distributors.
right.
And that's why we've got the retail distributors that we're targeting. Also, just to add to that, I mean, we recognize that our sales are going to be, a majority of our sales are going to be online. That is why we need to create a website that is great. More than the shelf space, we need to dedicate our finances towards creating a website that is going to hold and process our orders, and that's why we're going to where the best website developers are.
I have a question. First of all, really cool idea.
Thank
I
you.
really like that. Is anyone else using the material itself, this pressed material, for products other than plates? Is that something you've explored, using that same material for other types of consumables?
So we have, in terms of what this product is, it's actually a waste product. When it's not being used, the fronds are just being burned. So the first use is the plates, but there's also, people have started to make attractive looking trays, but it's harder to toughen them. To have a tray that holds 6 glasses, they can fall through. So they're coming up with that, but that's when you start to create products like that, or even when you're trying to create a glass, which is what we're trying to get one of our suppliers to do, there is a bit of glue involved. It's not 100% sustainable, which takes away from its biodegradability. But in those terms, people are experimenting with others. One of the major things that we want to actually try and produce is takeout containers. We think that's a huge market. And unfortunately, there will be a little bit of tape used because each plate is unique, so each container will be unique. So we'll have to tape the lids on.
Yeah, I would think that, because I like the concept of going online. I also have experience in that food industry, and there are some barriers.
Right.
Yeah.
But also the marketplace tends to, you know, you're going to probably focus on demographics that are a little bit more educated, buy more things like that online. So,
Yeah.
but very cool concept.
Yeah.
Do we have one final question for the judges?
Yeah, well, actually, I have two. First, quick one is Oni the CEO, or did I miss that? I saw CEO,
We're
CFO.
both co-founders, so right now we've decided that we'll bring on a mentor who may take on the CEO position to advise us. We want to share duties, so we didn't know how to split a CEO up into two, so we've left that off the table for now.
Yeah. Well, generally, CEOs don't advise. They
Yeah.
make the
They make money.
decision. Yeah, I think that's one thing I would correct right away, because, you know, that somebody's got to be able to drive that. And just the other quick question I have, and this is something that Mara, I think, touched on, and that is often one of two things happen. Either these things are not received and so forth, in which case it fails, or you do what you do. It's a great proof of concept, and then there are companies that do nothing but look to see where there is some market response to these sorts of products. And I would think that there needs to be some anticipation of that, because when I even looking at the market that you define as a target market, once you do that, then in order for that to be your target market, you have to distribute to that market. If you're not distributing to that market, that's not really your target market. It's much smaller. So you'd have to pare it down a whole lot more if you're not there. That's why people pay so much for distribution in the food business, because to be distributed is a key component of the company.
Great, thank you very, very much.